And welcome to my weekly card reading. This week is a little bit different because we have beautiful Ostara here in the Southern Hemisphere, which is also known as the Spring Equinox. This is one of the 8 Sabbats of the Pagan Wheel of the Year, and at this time we are starting to welcome in longer days, warmer weather, and spiritually it's a time of balance, rebirth, and renewal. So this card reading that I have created here is all about going into what needs to be released. So we have room to bring in things that are more aligned, and we obviously it's in the shape of a flower because it's spring. So this is a card pool that I have created, so that's what we're going to base today's reading on. So the first card is the energy that we need to embody and embrace, and that is card number 1. Card number 2 is what needs to be released. What needs to be released. And then below that, we're going to do the how. How can it be released? Or even the why. Why do we need to be releasing this at this time? And then number 4 is what needs balancing. What do we need to be spending more time on in order to bring that energy into balance? And that is going to be card number 4. There we go. And then how it can be balanced. This card jumped out, so we're going to put that one there. And how it needs to be balanced. Or why we need to bring more balance into that part. And then cards 6 and 7 are what seeds we need to sow. Oops. And how we can plant those seeds, or why. Maybe more of a why I feel with this card that's just flipped out. So let's start with the energy that we need to embody and that we need to embrace, the beautiful card that is the 7 of Swords. So for me, when the 7 of Swords shows up, it's usually because we are needing to allow the universe to bear witness to what our actual intentions are. Like, we are being bathed in the light here. The universe is ready to communicate with us. But we need to be strategic, we need to be grateful for what we have, and we need to be moving silently and quickly. And that means that we're not kind of like shouting from the rooftops or feeling the need to share our journey with everybody and everybody. This is really a bit of a private journey, and it's kind of like not allowing us to get distracted by outside noise. So sometimes it can be that we need to just be aware of what's going on around us, aware of the energies around us, because not all energies are positive and welcoming. So it could just be to check your energies and make sure you're being surrounded by people who have your best interests at heart, who are supportive of you and are not saying one thing to your face and then something different behind your back. So make sure that your support network is supportive, and know that this is a perfect time, and coming up with Ostara is just beautiful because it's the perfect time to set your intentions and start moving towards those goals that you have. So what needs to be released? So this is the wheel, and this is all about balance and the spin of the wheel. And although it looks really unsteady, like, she's beautifully poised, she has belief in herself and her ability to go through things. So this coming up at this point in the reading is really saying to me that we need to release control. We need to just let things go. We need to put our faith and our trust in the universe, and we really need to just have faith that everything is working out for us as it needs to be. So we need to let go of control. We need to let go of holding on so tightly, of trying to control everything and every outcome, and really just allow the universe to do what it does best, and that is to support us, to give us the luck of the wheel, to know that we have the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, that when everything is in balance, everything will be okay. And can you see this theme here? Can you see how this is so beautifully on par with Ostara, with bringing in balance, with the night and the day being in balance? Like, this card could not be any more perfect for this reading. So how do we release that control, and how do we know that the universe has our best interests at heart? And this is really coming back to knowing that your energy is good, and that the things that you've done in the past, the karmic balance of the world is on your side because of the way that you have been in the past. So when we act with integrity, when we're in alignment, when what we say and what we do match up, then that is how we release control. The universe knows that it can work with us, that we are in harmony, and that we are not saying one thing and doing something else. We act with integrity towards others, but towards ourselves. This is also important when it comes to being honest and truthful with ourselves. Like, it's great when you have integrity when somebody's watching, but what are you doing when nobody's watching? Like, when it comes to habits for yourself or things that you want for yourself. Like, if you say, I'm going to do a daily card reading, then after 3 days you fall off the wagon or you don't do it. Like, do you show integrity towards yourself when you make commitments? Are you able to hold them for yourself? So that is how we are going to release that control and really allow the universe to step in and support us. It's really about being in balance and finding that integrity within ourselves, for ourselves, and not just when it comes to upholding things for other people. So then we're going to be going on to balance. What needs to be balanced? And this card that came up, the Two of Cups, is all about unity and relationships and partnerships. It's about bringing together skills from other people. So, two is all about balance. It's about partnerships and connection, and knowing that you don't have to do everything alone. So for me, are you spending too much time alone? Are you trying to do everything yourself? Like, where is it that you can begin asking other people for help? We really need to find those people who we can invite into our world, who we know are going to support us and love us. And it doesn't necessarily mean from a romance point of view. It could be friendships, it could be business partnerships, any kind of relationship that is going to help us find balance in our life. I feel as though we are really being called to stop feeling as though we have to do it all alone, that we have to do everything by ourselves. When we invite other people into our world, they bring a whole new different point of view, a whole new skill set that we may not even have known that we needed. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to bring in that beautiful sense of balance? And for me, this is by getting creative. It's by taking opportunities. It's by seizing the day. The Eight of Wands is beautiful fire energy, and it is inviting you to really start moving forward and taking action. So taking notes of those sparks of inspiration, those things that pull you in a direction that you wouldn't necessarily have going, that's Ace of Wands energy. And that is the energy that we really need to embody and embrace in order to find that balance, to bring those people into our world, into our life that we wouldn't ordinarily have given a second thought to, in a way. So that's really beautiful. Then, what seeds should be sown? So the 10 of Wands. This is an opportunity to kind of unburden yourself, to release yourself from all of that baggage that you have been carrying. So that could be physical baggage. Spring is a beautiful time, that spring clean, to sort out those cupboards, to get rid of things that you've just been hoarding or holding on to for that rainy day. I feel like this is a card now for that really beautiful deep cleanse, to start releasing things that are no longer serving us, releasing all that we've been holding on to. And that in itself is going to allow us room and opportunity opportunity to create something really beautiful over the next coming months. This doesn't mean that we are necessarily going to be starting something new, but if there's a project that you've been that's been on the back burner for the last 6 months, or you just haven't had time to complete it or get back to it, for me this isn't necessarily about checking everything out and starting brand new afresh. It's about going back and tending to those seeds. It's about going back and nurturing what has been planted before, which may have been neglected, and really allowing your energy to find the light, to prioritize, to know that there is something there and that you're being called to keep going with that project. So it's not necessarily, like I said, throwing out the baby with the bathwater. You don't really need to get rid of everything. It's just like, what can you release to lighten the load? Well, what is calling you? What is your passion? What gives you that spark? And what have you perhaps been neglecting because you've been carrying so much? And in releasing and letting go, that might allow you to then be able to get back to those projects which you may have been neglecting. And how can we tend to those seeds? Well, for me, again, a sword's energy, it's all about mindset. You can see in this mirror that, her reality is not the same as her reflection. Her reflection, she is bound, she is blindfolded, she is being attacked almost in a way. And for me, this is a reminder that our internal world doesn't necessarily reflect our external. And it's time to stop and take stock and see, well, okay, where am I maybe out of reality, or maybe out of touch with what is actually going on. Sometimes the thoughts in our head can make us feel like, we're too much, or we are trying to do too much, or things aren't going our way. Whereas when we take stock to see what is actually physically or emotionally happening in this moment, it's often a really different picture. And being anchored in reality and being grounded in the here and now can really allow us that time, that space, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, to really go back into those projects, to go back to those callings from our intuition about what we should be doing and where we need to be right now. So I always like to take a bit of a bird's eye view of the reading and just see or feel if anything else comes out. And as you can see, there's a lot that I think is mentally and emotionally going to come up for us at this time. And while there may not physically be things that we need to be doing, I think emotionally and spiritually there's quite a lot going on at the moment. Just so you can see what each card represents. So if you have any questions about this reading, or if there's anything else you'd like me to go more in depth to, or even if you would like a more personalized reading for your circumstances and to see what comes out, please get in touch. I would love to support you and offer you some guidance from Spirit at this beautiful time of Ostara.